So I'm having a chat with Roseanne Reid. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, just relaxing at the minute, but got a new single out and albums coming in a couple of months as well. So just in between, lots of admin, preparing for that, really.
Taking it easy before you get hit with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to take advantage of this time,
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you've touched on your new single called Call It Love. Tell us a little bit about the track.
Yeah, so this single is the first song released from the upcoming album, and it's sort of a little bit different to a lot of the stuff I've released previously, as in it's sort of a big band sound. It's got lots of horns and brass on it, and just a really sort of upbeat, joyful number for the spring, really. So it was a lot of fun recording it, and yeah, excited to have out as the first single. It's a really cool sort of introduction to the album.
Good, excellent. And that is coming off your second album, coming out in June, called Lawside. What can people expect to hear when they get a chance to take a listen?
Well, I mean, I think it's quite a diverse album, to be honest. It's got some folk acoustic numbers on there, and a lot of, as with this single, bigger sounds, the full band on it. And it's sort of dips and troughs in terms of, tempo and themes. There's some happy, upbeat songs on there, and then there's some more sort of introverted, sort of quieter numbers as well. Lots of love songs too. So, yeah, it's quite an eclectic album, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, how does it sound in comparison to your debut?
Well, I think it's a little bit more. I've been seeing it's more self-assured, certainly vocally. I'd sound a lot more confident on this, I'd say. There's similar sort of themes carrying through to this album with regards to the production, two different. So Teddy Thompson produced my debut album, and this is produced by a local engineer and musician called David McFarlane. So there are some similarities with the production, but I'd say it's just a bit more confident overall on my part. The vocals are more sort of front and center, and yeah, I'm happy. Obviously delighted with both albums, but I feel a little bit more confident putting this one out into the world, I'd say.
Good. That's great to hear. And off the back of the new record, you will be going out on the road with Steve Earle. I bet you can't wait to be out on the road again.
Yeah, it'll be the first big touring I've done in quite a while. So I'm looking forward to that. We've got some dates over in Europe as well, in Holland and Belgium. So, yeah, it'll be great. And I mean, in terms of touring with Steve, that's, one of my songwriting heroes since I was a kid. So it's a bit of a dream come true in that respect. And I think his audiences will be quite, hopefully sympathetic to what I do. It's hopefully their sort of sound. So, yeah, I'm delighted to get it. I really can't wait to get going with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And will you be wanting to be doing your own UK tour, a headline run?
I hope so. I mean, I think even if it's just a handful of dates, we've got obviously the Steve Earle tour runs through the whole of June, but the album comes out at the start of June, so that does leave me, the rest of the summer, and I'd hope maybe on the back of getting myself in front of new audiences with the Steve Earle tour, I can announce a small little UK headline tour of my own. So, yeah, fingers crossed with that.
Good. And I'd like to talk a little bit about writing. So how do tracks tend to start off for you? Is it normally lyrics? Is it a sound? Is it a tune? What is it that starts a track off for you normally?
It varies, to be honest. Most of the time it's lyrics. But I'd say certainly with this album, there are more songs that have started with just a melody. I tend to get ideas at, any hour of the day, and I'll just try and make a little voice note on my phone to help me remember them. And I can sort of build a melody around that most of the time. But yes, melodies are sort of, it's interesting. I think when I started out, I didn't prioritise the melody part of it so much. To me it was all about the lyrics and the strength of the lyrics. But I think as I've sort of moved through music and new experiences, I've sort of, I've prioritised the melodies a bit more. So, it still tends to be ideas, and lyrically it'll start off for me, but it varies. It does.
Good. Yeah, and once you've got your demos kind of sorted, how does it normally go from a demo to a finished article once you step foot into that studio?
Well, I mean, it's quite a long, drawn-out process with both albums, really, and it's in large part because I'm not, anyone that knows me will tell you I'm not the most organised person, so it does take a while from songs to start to actually being recorded with a band in the studio. But I tend to let go of quite a lot of control, to be honest, going into the studio. If there's someone like Teddy Thompson or David McFarlane at the helm in the producer's chair, and they'll have their own ideas of what they can bring to the songs, I'm always open to hearing what people think would work and would sound good, because that's not really, I don't class that as my area of expertise. I'm a solo performer. I've performed with just myself and the guitar for over 10 years. And that's how I'm used to my songs sounding. So, I really love bringing other people in when it comes to actually recording them with a band, because I tend to find their ideas are a bit more expansive and, experimental, whereas mine can be a bit simple and a bit one-dimensional sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Roseanne, it's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
You too. Thank you for having me.